So who's going first?
You.
For me, this relationship is perfect.
Nice. I was going to say respectful.
Complete. Complete is everything that you look for.
Amazing.
Magnificent.
My word would be transformation.
My word would be heart.
Strangely perfect. You know, it's like we're really opposite, but we work together.
I would say trusting.
Yeah, that's tough. Do you have anything?
I don't know. It's
I'm
hard
trying
to
to,
go
yeah,
down
in
to
one word, it's a little tough.
I don't know. There's
You could throw out all the, I mean, we could sit here all day going, loving, kind, understanding, you know, all this stuff, but it, you know, it boils down to two words: best friend. She's the best friend I've got, and that's how our relationship is. It's just we're best friends.
Okay, well, my word would be perfect. Simplest one out there, but it works. I think our relationship is pretty damn near perfect.
Can I steal her word?
Yeah, you can steal my word, it's okay. Yay, see, we even agree on that.
Togetherness. Because we were together all the time. I worked out in the field with him, I milked the cows with him, I went everywhere with him. And he worked at home on the farm, and so did I, having our kids. Trustworthy.
Wow. Words keep flipping through my head, and then none of them really covers all the bases that I want to cover. You know? But it has to do with, yeah, well, you want one word. Trustworthy. Loving.
Boy, that's a big one. That is a big one.
I'll tell you, love. She loved me, and I loved her.
I saw Michael performing on stage, and I fell in love with him at first sight.
I can remember she had this plaid, kind of a plaid dress on. It was a cute dress, and she was a good dancer.
I remember she had huge eyes, and she didn't talk much, and she just kind of laughed and smiled and just went,
Yeah. And I used to talk about how cute he was when I was going up the stairs, and apparently he heard me. And
Very loudly.
I didn't know.
I laughed.
And we would talk outside the dorms all the time.
Very drawn to her because she was wearing, she had a cool haircut and really red lipstick, and she was wearing like a t-shirt which looked like had been made out of homemade out of another t-shirt. Like it was like had the Muppets on it, but that was like the part where the Muppets had been cut out like in an oval and then hand stitched onto another t-shirt.
If I could see his long hair hanging out of his helmet.
yeah, that's why she liked me.
he had a kind of a kind walk about him. I remember seeing him walk into the time clock one day. He had a kindness about him. Yeah.
She had an emerald green dress with a slit up the side, and her hair all wavy. And the stage lights were on, so her hair looked like it was literally on fire. It was so bright red. And there was a magnetic.
Probably her hair and her eyes, probably, and her personality. Very happy, friendly, exciting, exciting kind of person.
I liked his cowboy boots and his Levi's. And besides that, I thought he was good looking too. And he was a cowboy.
No.
He was quiet, but had a lot of little jokes that he would make. And he was just really funny, and we hit it off right from the beginning.
She likes to leave cheese stick wrappers everywhere.
Seriously? Is it his favorite thing?
It really is annoying. Like, I'll find them on the sofa, I'll find them next to the bed.
I snap throughout the day, and I don't throw them away because I just put them next to me, and then they just end up somewhere. But you leave stuff all over the place too.
Your turn's though.
What bothers me is that she lets things go a lot easier than I would, and I get more, maybe more sensitive or more overreactive about things.
He's a very passionate person.
I
so he's passionate in every aspect of his life.
Protective of her.
I just get so irritated when he squeezes a toothpaste in the middle of the toothpaste and squeezes it, and I squeeze it all back up there, and I said, now don't squeeze it in the middle, or else he'll grab a pitcher of milk, drink out of the pitcher. Don't drink out of the jar. Get you a glass. Those little things irritate me to no end, and when he gets stuff out and he don't put it back, it irritates you, but you rip him apart and go ahead and put it away yourself.
When Rhea will either leave the cabinets open, or she'll make a sandwich and just leave the peanut butter and the knife and everything out. And my judgment is that it would take almost no time to put these things away, and we both want an orderly house, so why, why did she do it? But it's a good practice for me, because sometimes I just get really angry. I'm like, why are you doing this? It's just like,
But you leave your socks over the house, and sometimes I entertain the thought of stuffing them down your throat, and I hate to trip over them.
Okay.
I almost think it's something that happens to men, and especially to creative people sometimes, is that they get this thing where when they're down, everything's useless, everything's hopeless, and you get in this position where you get to toss little balls and get them swatted down.
Victoria has no awareness of that at all. She just doesn't. She doesn't.
No, I do, but I just don't care.
Yeah, it's like we have to be out the door.
3-ish, that's good.
We have to be out the door in 20 minutes, right? And 25 minutes later, she has decided to rebuild a set of earrings or something to wear, And it's like, I just,
Well, I get pretty annoyed when you don't scoop the litter box at night.
Sometimes he has what I define as a little bit of road rage, but I kind of tease him about it a little bit, and I don't know, I'm too passive, I'd let the guy go and not, get out of the way. And you know, but it doesn't drive me crazy about him. It's just we're different that way, you know.
Let's see. Well, I have to be honest about this. I think my least favorite thing is clutter. I'm not the world's neatest person myself, but I have a kind of a low tolerance for being surrounded with a lot of stuff and not having open space in the house. And it's an ongoing issue that I'm slowly adjusting to. And I try to maintain a few areas of control here and there, a workbench, a space in front of a computer, my room, and so on, where I actually can control this kind of stuff. And, you know, it's really not that big a deal. I mean, it is sometimes, but mostly it's not. It's not a deal breaker at all. It's an irritant. That's the difference there. And we all have those things.
She says, you got to ask my dad. So I went and asked, and he said, I think you're too young. And we did it anyway.
It seemed like it was quick. We were only dating for how long before we got engaged? But why prolong it, I guess, if you really know it's right.
It was like a mutual decision.
No one asked.
We're like,
it just kind of happened.
Yeah, we're very open about it. So like even when we did ring shopping, like I take him with me and we go and we pick out stuff together and see what we would like. Even with my dress, like I found my dress and he was in the mall with me and I tried it on in front of him and asked him, what do you think?
And she constantly shops for rings online and shows me every single ring that she likes.
Yeah, and I put it in a wish list on sales. And we just kind of make mutual decisions about rings and our wedding, and I just keep telling him to forget that he saw my wedding dress. And that's about it, I guess. Kind of just like a joint decision, which I like.
We are married. We have been together for a lot longer than anyone else in our relationships, so we do consider ourselves primary. And I guess we tend to protect the primary as well.
I think basically our relationship is the foundation. That's why in that way it's primary. It's the foundation that we are strong enough that we can go off and do others. But it doesn't censor or limit the other relationships. If we found someone who fit in perfect, then they would come in and they would be equal. His girlfriend is not less than me. I'm not more than her.
I think a lot of it had to do with being a child of divorce and having gone through several of them. I think I also am in a pretty unique space because I didn't have a relationship with anyone before Andy. He was my first relationship and also my first sexual relationship. So for me, it was a big deal. It wasn't like, oh, here's just another relationship that I'm in. So it was kind of a mix of not having clarity and being in a lot of pain from my childhood. But at the same time, I think I also had clarity about what I was doing and what direction I was going in. But it caused a lot of tension between us. For a long time, it would be something we would fight about.
And I guess it is a lot with religion and how you grow up and everything, but to me, how I see it is family. And I just want to have that bond.
Yeah.
Not right now.
I
Just kidding.
think in the near future.
I didn't want to get married. I said that I had made such a mockery of marriage in my life. So much. And I said, you have too. I mean, it's all such crap. And then I talked to a few people I really trust, and one person, it's an older person I really trust, said, do you honor this woman? I said, yes, I do. And then the other question was, do you honor the relationship? Yes, I do. Well, then that's what you're declaring, really. And I decided that I wanted to declare that.
Well, I knew that I loved him. I was just scared of marriage. And we were at our place in Swan Valley, and we were talking. I was showing Casey where I'd always wanted to build a house and stuff, and he said, well, I'd like to build a house that your parents could have a room.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the defining moment for me. I knew that he was really a family person. That was important to me. He had told me when we first got together, that was the first thing he told me, family is everything to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I trusted that. And it was kind of surprising to me because I thought, wait a minute, that's my line. And so I knew that when, he said that he was sincere.
Yeah, we married for mutual security. We married so that although I didn't actually have to do this, my university benefits package would apply to her.
Oh, that's so romantic.
Well, because you can express love and affection without getting married. You don't have to get married.
There's that commitment, I guess, that marriage brings. When you're married, you are part of that relationship. There's no out. It forces you to work on things and to look at the relationship. And if you cop out and don't do the marriage thing, then it's easy to just say, well, I'm not married. Let's give up on that. Try again.
Marriage was always important to me. Having a family was always important to me. It wasn't the fact that I don't believe that because it didn't work once or more than once that it was not meant to be for me. To me, a family is important. A family is a bond. A family is complete. I don't like to be alone. I never wanted to be alone. And you just have to find that right person that fits that.
I will say that by the time Bob got around to asking me seriously, I decided that I wanted to get married because I didn't want either myself or my children to have an image of marriage as having to be what it had been between me and their father. By that time, I knew that I was in a very different kind of relationship.
Well, I plan on marrying her because...
Because you love me.
Yeah, there you go. No, because, I don't know. Growing up, family has been a big part of everything. And, like, my friends become my family.
I want to spend the rest of my life with her.
On-screen kiss.
All right.
Ooh, maybe. I now declare you husband.
Man and wife. Again.
I now declare you partner 1 or partner 2.
Partner 3. Partner 4.
Too shy for a peck on the lips? 1. Okay. 2 choice.
Oh, yeah.
Love you.
biscuits are we doing here? Careful what you ask for.
We might get carried away.
I do want to say one thing, okay, just unequivocally, sex. Okay, I just want to say that, like that's a good thing. that's very good to have that, to have synchronicity there, and to have that, especially if you are a very passionate person. You both have a lot of passion.
Well, we feel so much emotion for each other, so a lot of couples, when they've been married a long time, sex tends to fall into this routine kind of thing that they do. And, it's not that way for us. And he's 60 and I'm 53, and most people think about old people and sex, ick. But you might be older, but those desires, they're still there.
It's so wonderful.
They are every bit as strong at the age that I am now as they were when I was 20, when I walked into that bar and I saw you that way. My feelings for you have never diminished in that area, ever.
Oh my gosh, we're probably the most open people with sex.
You're the most open.
No, but I mean between us.
Oh, between us.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you meant talking about it.
No, I'm way more open than you talking about it. But between us, we're like crazy open about it. Like, it's like that's I think what makes our relationship really good is some people are really afraid to communicate to each other sexually.
Very active. That's kind of funny to say, but I think it's very important because it's a bond that you can be friends in other ways, and you can be a husband and wife in other ways. But I think if you're not bonded physically, sexually, then that's actually something you miss out on if you don't have that. You miss out on that personal time and personal expression of love to each other, and we definitely aren't lacking in that area. So
that's one thing we really have in common. I think it's the frosting on the cake. You build this cake.
we didn't build it on that, though.
You put the that's true.
We didn't build it on a physical relationship. We built it on everything around it, and that is, like you said, that is just all the extra.
You built this cake like a foundation, and that's your relationship, and then the frosting is, it's sweet. It's beautiful. I think it's a gift, and I think that, it is very important in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that sex makes a relationship. Actually, I think sex ruins more relationships than it does put together.
It's a very good time.
Cut.
Yes, I think it's very important.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
We're growing old together. And as somebody said, that's not for sissies.
We're so happy together. I mean, we could sit in this apartment for like a week and just watch videos together and hang out and
talk,
just
and
talk
play music
and kid around and Michael write a new song and I'll critique it or make a suggestion.
I mean, yeah, we go
change.
for walks.
Yeah, I mean,
we've been spending this whole week over.
We're together all the time.
And I realized that she was a perfect partner for me to fulfill what my greatest desire is, which is to understand myself and her better, and to deepen my love.
I love how he is with children. He's so kind. And so tender, and kids love him, you know, they just are drawn to him and they fall in love with him on sight. You know, he's just so real and so kind. I love that about him.
I look at her and I see a beautiful, beautiful woman. I'm stunned by that still. You know, that's just it's a wonderful thing to look at your mate and just.
I can't wait to get home to hang out with Shuri. It's funny, you know, after 8 years you'd think, well, do you get sick of her at all? But I don't. I'm anxious every day to get home and be with her.
But I have no interest in anybody besides, you know, my woman here.
I see how he respects people. I'm gonna start crying, you go.
I used to have this phantom fear about this woman that Andy would meet who would be perfect. And part of me, at that point, I hadn't spent a lot of time in the Jewish community, and I would get really, because Jews tend to marry each other. So I was really terrified of this perfect, embodied, spiritual, amazing Jewish woman was just gonna like steal him from me. And I would get really like irrational about it. And I know that it had a lot to do with my pain. And kind of similarly along the line of what Andy's saying, not loving myself, not believing in my own quality. And what I've found on my journey of healing that in myself, and really turning towards my own heart, because I really, at this point in my life, I really believe that I can't do anything for my partner or anyone else in the world if I don't care about myself, if I don't authentically and honestly love who I am. And what I've discovered is that I have, through my healing and the persistence that I've had, and that I've become that woman that I was so scared about. I've become
even the Jewish part.
Even the Jewish part, you know, and the dynamic and beautiful and creative and fun woman that I was so scared was going to take my partner away.
He's not perfect. I'm not perfect, but he's the perfect person for me.
We want to be together until we're really old and sitting on a porch swing commenting about kids getting on our lawn. Like, we want to have that length.
I've lived with him all my life since I was 16, so how in the world could I live now without him after this many years, after 63 years together?
I've lost a sister and 4 brothers. And we're still hanging together.
Yeah.